attempt to argue that morality doesn't exist without a God doesn't really work, because it just basically kicks the can down the road. You can have like God make commands, but then why should you listen to those commands? Why are those commands good? Why are they right? There could be something that else is true. So it's really just subjective in terms of what this random arbitrary person wants. Or if you ground it in God's nature, you run into the same problem, right? So it's the same issue as why is God's nature something we should follow? Like he's not even mortal. Like why would his nature relate to our nature, and morality for us should follow from our nature?
We are an interconnected social species with innate empathy. You can have to live together and rely on each other, and you can break it down to a sentence or two sentences. I feel bad, or most people feel bad when they treat others poorly, and they risk getting treated poorly in turn. And so that's kind of the basic foundation for morality.
You're on it. There's two things there. One is reciprocity. You have to interact with this social system. You need to behave a certain way. It's game theory, basically. There's a certain way that is more rational to behave that results in how people are going to treat you, etc. The other side of that, though, is personal psychology, which is what sort of person do you really want to be? Once you have those two things, the reciprocity argument, the sort of social system argument, and your own personal self-worth, your sense of self-satisfaction, and so on. Once you have those two pieces in place, you don't need anything else. And in fact, you need to have those two things in place to even understand why you would want to obey God or follow his nature and stuff, so that God's nature, God's commands are actually irrelevant. Even if he exists, they're not relevant to morality. Morality stems from who you are, your nature as a conscious person.